So now I think we are all ready to start with the lecture. Very good. So my dear students, are you all revising? Did you study what we have done in the previous class? Do you remember the topic? What we were discussing last time? Yes, who can tell me what all we were talking about? Concentration. Very good, Pritika. We were talking about concentration of acids and bases, in which we did a table where we understood that concentration can be measured in two terms. One is grams per liter and the other one is moles per liter. What is moles per liter also called as? Very good, Kaushik. It is called as molarity. Very nice. I'm really happy. A lot of students know the answer. Very good. Then I think we also started with the pH of the solution, isn't it? Did we start with the term pH, where pH stands for? pH stands for power of hydrogen. Very good. And who discovered this pH scale? Who introduced the pH scale to us? Anybody? Do you remember the name of the scientist? Come on, any one student? Nobody remembers. Oh, Venavi. Very good. It is scientist Sorensen. Very nice. It was Sorensen. Now I think a lot of answers are coming up. So in last lecture, we were talking about the concentration of H plus ions which are formed by dissociation at 25 degrees Celsius as 1 into 10 raised to minus 7 moles per liter. Similarly, H plus in case of HCl as 1 into 10 raised to 0 moles per liter. And in H plus ion concentration differs from 10 raised to 0 to 10 raised to minus 14. To avoid all these confusion, Danish scientist Sorensen introduced a convenient scale of expressing the concentration, which is called as the pH scale, where pH stands for power of hydrogen. And that scale extends from 0 to 14. Do you all remember the scale which is ranging from 0 to 14, where we can measure the strength of the acid and base? The pH scale was introduced to measure the strength of the acid and the base. When I say measuring the strength, means I'm measuring whether the acid is strong or weak. All right. And the pH scale ranges from 0 to 14. Mid value is 7. When it is 7, I'm going to say it is going to be neutral. When it is between 0 to 7, it is acidic. 7 to 14 is basic, right? 0 to 7 is acidic, 7 to 14 is basic. Strong acids are going to have pH towards 0. Strong bases are going to have pH towards 14. Near 7, we are going to have weak acid and weak base. All right. Is it clear? I think this is what we have done in the last class, and when we also know that pH stands for power of hydrogen. Moving ahead. As we were discussing, this is the pH scale, which is helping us understanding the strength of acid and base. But we have something called as indicators, which are going to tell me whether the solution is acid or base. If I want to identify if my substance is acid or base, I'm going to make use of indicator. Like I think this I have shown you in the previous slide as well. We make use of litmus paper. Yes, very good. Red litmus paper, is there any color change? No. Now I'm going to use a blue litmus paper. In blue litmus paper, is there any color change? Yes. When blue turns red means what? What is the solution standing for? Acid. Very good. The solution stands for acid. When blue turns red, we call the solution as acid. Similarly, I take another solution. This time I'm going to first introduce the blue litmus paper. Is there any color change in the blue litmus paper now? No. I'm going to introduce a red color litmus paper. Is there any color change? Yes. When red turns blue, B stands for base. So bases change the color of red litmus to blue. Now litmus paper, as you know, litmus paper is actually obtained from a plant called as lichen. Do you know this term, lichens? It is obtained from a plant called as lichen, and lichen is a plant which is available in natural source. So these kind of indicators are called as natural indicators. Even though litmus paper is manufactured in the industry, but actually it is obtained from the plant called as lichen. Apart from that, there are many natural substances like rose petals, turmeric, beetroot, which can be used as indicators. So they all will fall under natural indicators. Turmeric color change, I'm pretty sure you might have seen in your daily life as well. Have you ever observed how turmeric does the color change? You eat something which is containing turmeric, that is turmeric अंदर है, इसका मतलब क्या है, oil और turmeric mixed है, any food item basically, and if it falls on your cloth, what will happen? When it falls on the cloth, turmeric falls on the, what is the color? What is the color when the turmeric falls on the cloth? Yellow. And have you ever tried to rub a soap on that cloth that is containing yellow stain? The yellow stain will immediately turn red. Why it is changing the color when it is coming in contact with soap? Because soap is a base. That means in base and in acid, turmeric changes its color. When it is acidic, it is yellow. When it is basic, it turns red. And that is why turmeric becomes an indicator. Did you get it? Did you all understand how turmeric is helping us to know the color change, just like the litmus paper? All right. Apart from that, not only these natural indicators, there are certain chemical substances which are available in the laboratory, which are called as synthetic indicators, which are made in the lab with the help of chemicals. One common name of the chemical which you might have repeatedly heard about is phenolphthalein. I'm pretty sure everybody has heard about this term called as phenolphthalein, which is an indicator. Let us see how phenolphthalein helps me understand which is acid and which is base. I put a drop of phenolphthalein in both the solutions. Now, after I stir the solution, one solution remains as it is and the other solution turns pink, which indicates that phenolphthalein in acid remains colorless, but in base it turns pink. Again, a color change which helped me understood that what is acid and base, and as it was a chemical made in the laboratory, it falls under the category of synthetic indicators. Apart from phenolphthalein, we have certain other indicators like methyl orange, eosine. About all this, we have studied in 8th standard. We all know about these indicators. We also studied about their chart in what is the color change applicable to each of the solution. But this year, you don't have to study all this in detail. Just a revision because I want to teach you about pH. So synthetic indicators are those which are made as the chemical substances, and their color change helps us identify which is acid and base. After learning synthetic indicators, the most important indicator which is currently required for your this academic year is called as universal indicator. Have we heard about this term called as universal indicator? Yes, have you heard? Very good. So for those students who might have forgotten, let me tell you, universal indicator is basically made up of several synthetic indicators which are mixed together in a specific proportion. And that is called as a universal indicator. The name is given universal because a lot of solutions are mixed together to make it. This is the bottle of the universal indicator. And then how does universal indicator will help me identify whether it is acid and base. Again, you put few drops in the solutions. Let us see the color change. If the color changes towards the red side, it is acidic. If the color changes towards the blue side, it is basic. And you can see the color change on the bottle of the universal indicator. Can you see it is written different colors, and adjacent to there it is written pH. It is written pH. Here I have just referred as red and blue. It is not necessarily always it is going to show as red and blue. There are different shades of these colors. So by corresponding the different shades to the shade chart which is given on the universal indicator bottle, you can match the color change and exactly tell me the pH. That is the benefit of universal indicator. Universal indicator not only tells us whether the solution is acid or base, it also helps us understand that whether the solution is strong acid, strong base, weak acid or weak base. And the color you can see in the chart, if it is moving towards the darker side, it becomes concentrated like dark blue. And similarly, see center mein green hai. Can you see? Okay, if few students have not understood, for them I'm repeating once again. First, I want everybody to see the bottle of universal indicator which I'm showing you on the screen. Can you all see the bottle? Okay. Now, can you see in between 7 is written adjacent to 7? Which color are they corresponding to? Green, right? And 7 we know when pH stands for 7. What is the solution going to be? 7 is neutral. Very good. 7 is neutral. So as the now here on this slide, I've showed you only red and blue color. But it is not necessary that always it is going to show us red and blue color. Sometimes it is going to show us yellow, light orange, purple, dark blue, light blue. So whatever color we get, that color I am going to correspond to the chart, the color changes chart which is given to us. When I correspond it to that, whatever color change I get, that is the pH of my solution. So what is universal indicator? With the help of pH helping us to understand? It is helping us to understand not only about the acids and bases, but also about their strength. When we spoke about indicators like natural indicators, synthetic indicators, they were only telling you whether it is acid or whether it is base. But this universal indicator, with the help of pH, which is an important thing here, is helping us to understand what is the strength. All right. And I would request everyone to repeat the definition of universal indicator along with me. I hope you all are reading with me. Come on, everyone. A universal indicator is made by mixing several synthetic indicators in specific proportions. Okay. Once again, a universal indicator is made by mixing several synthetic indicators in specific proportions. Now I would request everyone to give the heading as universal indicator and try to write the definition without seeing. I'll be really happy if you are able to do that. And even if you're not able to do that, it's absolutely fine. Read it twice or thrice, then try to write it down. I'm giving you a minute's time. Please finish it. Strong acids, Razeen, strong acids. Sampreet, it is in the pH range of 7.35 to 7.45. The pH of blood ranges in the 7.35 to 7.45, which is slightly alkaline. And the pH little varies when you have some terminally ill conditions. The pH varies. Are you all done? Very good, Sahil. I highly appreciate that. Yes, Arman. You know, especially for 9th standard kids, I highly appreciate that everybody, I think majority of you try to communicate with me, you answer my questions, you learn the answer when I tell you to do that. I highly appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much. You're making the best use of technology. Thank you, Aishwarya. Okay, Arya, very good. I'm happy. Yes, alkaline is also referred to as basic. Okay, I think majority of you have completed writing universal indicator. Let us move ahead and understand what are the other things that is going to help me about the universal indicator, which is given us in our textbook. This is the table given to us in the textbook, which is referring to the universal indicator and pH meter. See, manually, the time has gone when we do all this thing manually. Now everything is automated. So here, can you see a pH strip, a circular pH strip and various color charts given to us? And can you see the test tubes having different color changes? This is how beautiful the color changes look. Actually, I'm really feeling sad that you guys are not able to visit the laboratory and not able to do this experiment, because majority of the school allow the students to carry on the test of acids and bases where you can see all these color changes. It is really interesting. See, looking at the colors, I'm pretty sure you all might be fascinated that yes, ma'am, we wanted to try. Right? This table is on page number 64. So this is the pH meter, which is directly going to give us the reading. You don't even have to see manually. When I check the colors, no, sometimes it might happen that the color might not be very clear in your mind. You might be not able to judge whether it is light or dark. What should I make the category fall under? Samajh mein nahi aa raha hai, color mix ho raha hai. Because I also sometimes feel this differentiation a little difficult. So we have come to the concept of this pH meter, which is going to give us direct reading. We don't even have to do anything in this. So the pH of the solution can be determined by the means of a universal indicator solution or the pH paper which is made from it. But however, the most accurate method of measuring the pH of the solution will be to use an electrical instrument called as the pH meter. That's where you can see this left hand side, there's a pH meter. In this method, pH is measured by dipping the electrodes into the solution. Okay, so is the concept of pH, universal indicator, pH meter, and about Sorensen, all the details clear to you in your mind? Because now we are going to start with something which you are not used to do regularly. That is the most important part of chemistry, which is the chemical reactions. Electrodes are the ones which are conducting electricity. Okay, that is why I know this. If few people used to have colored blindness, they will use the pH meter. There, I don't think that is anything relevant. उसमें कुछ use नहीं है. Are we done with the concept of pH paper and universal indicator? Synthetic indicators are the ones which are made in the laboratory by mixing chemicals. No, you don't have to write all this. This is everything there in the textbook, which you need not even learn by heart. Yes, electrode is a device. Basically, it's something which can conduct electricity, any metal. Obviously, the pH paper. Josh. Yes, Arman, very good. Like cathode and anode are the electrodes. Acids and bases which are more dangerous. Both the strength of strong acid and strong base equally are dangerous. Strong base like sodium hydroxide also cannot be touched easily. It will cause scalding to your skin, burning to your skin. No, that's not a pH paper. Upper left is the pH paper. That's not a pH meter. You will not get this pH paper anywhere. It is only for the chemical in the laboratories it is available. So now I am moving ahead and we are trying to learn a new topic which is not coming up on the screen, that is reactivity. Basically, the reactions is wrong. It should be reactivity of acids and bases. We're going to start with the topic of reactivity of acids and bases, where the first one which I'm going to teach you today is called as neutralization. Let us try to understand what is neutralization here. Here I'm doing a reaction between acid and base. Acid and base, which is going to give me the product as salt and water. This is a common reaction. Acid and base react together to give me salt and water. Just give me a minute here, please. In 8th standard also, we spoke about neutralization, and this reaction was embedded in our mind that acid and base react together to give me salt and water. Isn't it? This reaction we have studied a lot, many of times. But let us try to understand how this reaction takes place. If I ask you to do a small activity, like I ask you to take 10 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid in a beaker, and with the help of a glass rod, you put a drop of this solution on the pH paper. What is the pH paper going to tell us? If I put dilute hydrochloric acid, come on, tell me. अगर मैंने hydrochloric acid use किया है, so what is the pH paper going to tell me? What is HCl stands for? Which acid does it fall under? Which category? HCl कौन से example में belong करता है? Strong acid, very good. HCl belongs to strong acid. The pH will be towards 0 or 1, right? Because it's a strong acid. Similarly, we'll add few drops of dilute NaOH with the help of a dropper. Sodium hydroxide add करेंगे. तो pH किसके तरफ जाएगा? What is sodium hydroxide? In which category does it belong? Very good. It is strong base. That is towards 14. So what will happen? What will happen when I try to mix both the things together? When I try to mix this acid and try to mix this base, like you are not in the laboratory, you are allowed to do that. When you mix this acid and base together, when I mix this acid and base together, I get another color solution. And that is neutral. Now, why this thing is happening? Why does my acid and base react together to give me neutral? Let us try to understand with the help of this reaction. So here, my dear students, what is exactly happening is the acid and base. Wait a minute. I'll repeat once again. Do not worry. The acids contain which ions? Tell me, acids contain which ions? एसिड के अंदर कौन सा आयन प्रेजेंट होना कंपलसरी है? H plus. बेस के अंदर बेस which is also called as an alkali. What is the ion should be present in a base? OH minus. Very good. This H plus and OH minus combine together to form water. What's the formula of water? What's the formula of water? H2O. And we know here, no, एक H plus है और एक OH minus है. दो H combine करेगा तो H2 बनेगा और single O. So it makes water. So whatever will be left in that acid and base, that will combine together to give me something which is called as the salt. Are you getting me? How are we getting this reaction? So if I take the acid as HCl and if I take the base as NaOH, अभी HCl और NaOH में से let me take the H and OH from the base. Water तो बन गया, बचा क्या है product? What will be left behind? Majority of you, in fact, everybody is able to give me the answer telling me that, ma'am, it is NaCl. Why didn't anybody tell me it will be ClNa? क्योंकि पहले तो Cl लिखा है और फिर Na लिखा है, तो ये ClNa क्यों नहीं आया? Why it is only NaCl? Why is my answer as NaCl plus H2O? And why it is not ClNa? Who can answer this question? Very good, Josh. This is the correct answer I was expecting, because sodium is a cation and then an anion. Very nice. Pritika, you are also correct. Positive will come first and negative will come followed later. I know majority of you are giving me the answers. I can read the answers, but few names which I could read out, I read out their names. That doesn't mean others are not answering. Very good. Man, I think, yeah. Okay, so one student has a question, what will happen if I take an acid which does not contain Cl? Definitely it is possible. We are going to do those reactions where Cl will not be present. Any other anion will be present. And what is the answer to my question? Why did not I write ClNa? Because any chemical formula which we are representing, we always write the positive ion first and the negative ion. Did you get my answer, Jay? पहले positive आता है, फिर negative आता है. That is the answer. And then we'll define what is neutralization. The reaction between acid and base to form salt and water is called as neutralization. Come on, repeat everyone, what is neutralization quickly. The reaction between acid and base to form salt and water is called as neutralization. Now I know I'll be giving you to write a little more things. Please copy this slide and do not take a screenshot and sit, please. I give enough time to write down things. Don't waste your time in taking screenshots, because I am really don't know how many students are actually practicing the reactions at home. So some reactions which are extremely important, I make you to write. Yes, you have to write everything which is given here, which will not take time. Just 2 minutes time, you can write it down. No, we cannot call any acid until and unless it has an H plus. When you are writing, no, don't keep on seeing the PowerPoint and write. Read acid plus base gives me salt and water. Then write the entire statement. Then write HCl plus NaOH gives me NaCl and water. Try to copy that. Don't like ऐसा एक word slide पे देख के मत लिखो. HCl plus NaOH. That is not going to help us. No point in writing then. I would really tell you, don't waste your time in writing. If you've written all this, I'm expecting that you're knowing all this as well. Because certain things which I want to get registered in your mind absolutely fit perfect, that is why I tell you to write. Okay, I'll just wait for a minute more. Let everybody finish this. Yes, I will explain this once again. See, I want everyone to get this topic very clearly because इसके next जो slide आएगा जिसमें मुझे एक table fill करना है, that will require complete knowledge of neutralization. I took an example of HCl and NaOH. It is not necessary कि acid हमेशा HCl ही होगा और base हमेशा NaOH ही होगा. It is not necessary. It can be any acid, it can be any base. But salt will depend upon the acid and base you are taking, but water will be constant. क्यों water constant होगा? Because I know कि acid में H तो होने ही वाला है, base में OH तो होने ही वाला है. So if my H and OH are fixed, so my water is also fixed. Only the thing which is going to change is my salt. Yes, if it does not, and what is a salt? If it does not contain an H plus and OH minus. No, two cations cannot form. It will depend upon, there will be one more factor along with that. Yes, Daniel, your messages are reaching me. Done? Is there anybody still writing? I think majority of you have already told me that you have finished writing. Okay, so nobody is telling no. So I can move ahead with the slide now. Just to give you more clarity about acid and base, this thing you don't have to write, just understand. Acid HCl means it is made up of H plus and Cl minus. Base, which is my NaOH, is made up of Na plus and OH minus. तो अभी यहाँ पर देखो H plus और OH minus combine करके क्या बनाया? H2O. And Na plus and Cl minus will combine together, isn't it? No, that is not possible, Jay. Two cations वाला reaction. You don't have that. All right. Is it very clear? Can you see how we are making cations and anions out of the compound? Yes, any compound, a cation and anion is necessary. This is about ionic. If I talk about carbon and sharing of electrons, then we'll come to another concept. But what we are doing in this chapter, we'll be talking about a cation and anion. Let us see what are the other reactions here. This is the table given to us. Complete the following table of neutralization reactions and also write down the names of the acids and bases and salts in it. Now, important thing is writing the name. चलो अभी हमने सबने पढ़ा है what is neutralization. What does neutralization stands for? Acid plus base giving me salt and water. All right. अभी ये complete कैसे करेंगे? What is the easiest technique which I used to feel when I was a student to do it? I used to see HNO3 में क्या present है? H plus and NO3 minus. I want everybody to look at the slide now. I don't want your answers, nothing. I want everybody to concentrate on the slide because first वाला easy है. Next वाला आंसर करने के लिए तुमको कॉन्सेप्ट समझना पड़ेगा. All right. So look at the PowerPoint, everyone. HNO3 means which ions are present? H plus and NO3 minus. How do I know this? कि NO3 minus है because I have learned the ions and radicals का table. Have you done that? I forgot asking about ions and radicals ka table. If you have not done that, let me tell you very clearly, ahead when I go in this chapter, you will find it very difficult to understand chemistry. So I am giving you one chance again, Razeen. You can learn it by heart and come for the next class. I really want to ask you to unmute yourself and answer questions, which I'll do it in after I try to finish majority part of the chapter. So we were talking about HNO3 containing ions like H plus and NO3 minus. अभी जो मेरा salt है KNO3, उसके अंदर कौन सा ions है? Which ions are present in that? Which ions are present in KNO3? Yes, Pritika, good. One is, very good, Kaushiki. One is K plus and NO3 minus. All right. K plus and NO3 minus. Very good. So what is present in water? Water is made up of H plus and OH minus. Now, according to law of conservation of matter, we know that जो left hand side में होगा वो right hand side में तो definitely होगा. So left hand side में I already have H plus and NO3 minus. In the right hand side, cancel the H plus and NO3 minus. Because that has already come, no? That has already come. So in the left hand side I have H plus, right hand side also H plus, मतलब वो दोनों तो हो गया. Left hand side I have NO3 minus, right hand side also I have NO3 minus, that is also done. What has not come is K plus and OH minus. So K plus and OH minus combined together to give me the answer as KOH. This is how we get the answer for these questions. Is it clear to everyone? Did everybody understand? Everybody has understood this? All right. So let me see who is going to give me answer for the second question. Give me the first and the last blank. Here two blanks are left for you. Let me see who is going to answer this. Very good, Jay. Very nice. Jay has known मान को आ गया है. I'll repeat again, Riddhi. Do not worry. Rishika, very good. Very nice. Second blank H2O. Okay, very good. So चलो जिसको नहीं समझा है, they are going to listen to me carefully. Abhi this reaction they have already told us that it is a table of neutralization. And according to the concept of neutralization, I know that acid plus base is going to give me salt and water. My first blank has to be an acid. Why? Because the second thing which is given to me, which is NH4OH, it contains OH, मतलब वो base है. Salt उन्होंने बना दिया है, तो last में क्या होगा? Water. So the first product which I've got is water. This everybody has understood. Anybody has not understood this? Please tell me. इधर तक सबको समझ में आ गया कि water तो आएगा ही. And now as you can see the ions, try to fill the tables of the ions. Try to fill. H2O मतलब H plus and OH minus. OH तो already आ गया है. और जो salt हमारा present है, which is NH4 twice and SO4, उसमें से NH4 भी आ गया है. तो बचा कौन है? SO4 and H plus. So SO4 2 minus and H plus will combine together to give us what? I am so happy that you students did not give me the answer as SO4 and H plus. You all know that logically it is an acid and that acid is sulfuric acid, which is standing as H2SO4. Now let me ask you a tricky question here. Can you name the acids and bases and the salt in the second example? Can you name them? What does H2SO4 stands for? Okay, that answer I have already given, that is sulfuric acid. What does NH4OH stands for? Come on, come on. Very good, Sahil. No, Daniel, you have to see. You need to know the table. Very good. It is called as ammonium hydroxide. NH4 stands for ammonium, OH stands for hydroxide, so it is ammonium hydroxide. So if you have understood the base, come on, tell me what will be the name of the salt. Very good, Razeen. Correct answer. Benavi, it's incomplete. Arman, you're correct. Kaushiki, you are also correct. Rishit, very good. Razel, very nice. Shruti, correct. No, Rishika, you're wrong. See dear, when it is NH4, no, we are going to say ammonium. And when it is SO4, it is going to be sulfate. So yes, Nuna, the name becomes ammonium sulfate. The name becomes ammonium sulfate. All right. चलो अभी third वाला करेंगे. I think till here everybody is clear with the concept of acid plus base gives me salt and water. Very good, Aishwarya. It's correct answer. I think everybody is giving me the correct answer. No one is giving me wrong answer here. I'm so happy to see that. So everyone, is the concept of this reactions clear to you? Pritika, just check your answer. Is there any typing mistake or you are giving me the wrong answer? So as we know that the reaction is about neutralization, it is acid plus base gives me salt and water. So first product which I'm going to directly write is water. And looking at the reactions, OH is already covered, K is already covered. So what are we left in the product is only H and Br. And because H is positive, Br is negative, my answer becomes HBr. Very nice. Very good. So reactions, don't you think reactions are really interesting? They are very simple. You know why I like chemistry? It is not that when I was your age I used to love chemistry. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. I also never liked the subject because I felt कितना difficult है. But thankfully I've come across very good teachers who helped me understand that in chemistry I don't have to learn a lot of answers. I need to only understand the concept of equations, and quickly by writing one line I'm able to get 2 marks. So because I got interested, as you can say, I got little greedy कि थोड़ा लिखने में अच्छा marks मिल रहा है, तो why not study that much better? And that is how I started developing interest in my subject. So that is why I like the subject now. Okay, we were pending with the names. Very good. Hydrogen bromide. What does KOH stands for? Hydrobromic acid is also correct. No problem. What does KOH stands for? Runal, I did not come across your other friends. Where are all those people? KOH. Come on, tell me what is the answer for KOH. Potassium hydroxide. Very good. And now comes the product, KBr. KBr. Very nice, Ashna. Razeen, correct. Namra, right? Namra, sorry. I'm sorry if I'm spelling out your names wrong. Potassium bromide. Now the most difficult one. What does H2O stands for? Don't tell me hydrogen oxide, please. Very good. It is water. So now as we began with the topic of reactions, I don't want to burden you more with more reactions, because next lecture you better be prepared, because I'm going to make you learn a lot of chemical reactions. So it's a request from my side to all my intelligent and really helpful students to read the table of ions and radicals and come, so that the chapter becomes really easy for you. Okay, is it all right? So I'll end my class here for today. I don't think I should stretch more, because whatever we have learned today is enough. But next week, be prepared that we are going to learn a lot of chemical reactions. And to your surprise, those chemical reactions are very easy.